Phillip Schofield. It's on 5 front pages today.
I admire you for saying, ITV said they investigated and I believe them. Oh, please. Please, they just did not. They did not investigate in any form of an investigative manner. They might have made a small request and then moved it on.
They might possibly ask someone, but
that's not an investigation.
That's what they say. Like, we have to.
But they're known to be lying, and they're known to be liars on other accounts, and as is Phillip Schofield. So let's be the channel that actually calls it out properly, as Eamon has, and speaks the truth about what's going on and what goes on behind the scenes in television companies. Now, ITV are known to have this, keep the star safe. They, those above knew what was going on, and they just added petrol to the fire instead of calling him up straight away, telling him this isn't good enough and carrying on. And it's happened before with other people in a much worse way, as we know. We won't mention those other names, but it all comes to light eventually, all these famous people that are covered up for by those in the offices on high. And it's the people in the offices on high that need to come down.
Do you think Holly Willoughby, who claims she'd asked him about the relationship and he denied it, we've seen photographs of them at awards ceremonies together with the young man and Schofield. Do you think she didn't know?
Of course she knew. I mean, I would literally bet big money on it. I mean, do you have friends? Do you have friends? And do you know when friends of yours...
Bit of a leading question to Andrew.
No, but do you know... I know when my friends are in a relationship with someone or whether it's not. And when you're so close and you go on holiday with someone... I mean, I don't know how she could stomach it. She was going on holiday with his wife and knew about this relationship, and it's all friendly. For me, it's brutally disloyal on so many levels. And, what we need on television and what this morning was supposed to be were our friends speaking honestly to us and having a completely transparent relationship, and that's not what was there. And we are, here at GB News, we're going to call it out every single step of the way.
It is a very tarnished brand now, and as we know, there are more stories to come.
Oh, I'm sure of it. Yeah. Nigel, do you think the programme is sustainable?
Well, I mean, I took the point that Dawn made a bit earlier by comparing it to the News of the World.
Yeah.
That if this morning's now become so toxic, and we've seen sponsors now starting to pull out, advertisers could follow, viewers could follow. If all that happens, and happens very quickly, I think This Morning has probably had it. I mean, what is obviously coming out is that people haven't been honest about what they appear to have known. I mean, I was on Dan Wootton's show last night when we saw the Eamon Holmes interview for the first time. And all of us, we weren't talking. Our jaws were just dropping with each revelation that Eamon came up with.
Thursday night play night, eh?
Thursday night play night. But if Eamon, who was there, was saying, look, we knew things were going on, this is the sort of thing that was happening, this was the way Phillip Schofield was behaving. As Tanya's just mentioned, that investigation that ITV did doesn't seem to be much of an investigation.
No.
What they need now is to come clean about how well that investigation was conducted, and if it wasn't, have a new one.
And the young man in question, that we understand there are non-disclosure agreements around him which will expire quite soon. In which case, if he then goes public, that could be a pretty difficult time for ITV.
Well, it would. I mean, I'd be surprised if a non-disclosure agreement would cover everything that happened. I mean, it should be a non-disclosure agreement about what he knows about ITV. So we will see. But obviously, should he decide to tell his story, this will go into a whole different realm.
Non-disclosure agreements in themselves are quite sinister, aren't they? They say there's something to be covered up and lied about. I mean, and so if you're transparent and talking and speaking the truth, what do you need that for?
And isn't there a great irony when it's a media company having non-disclosure agreements? The job of the media is to inform and to report facts, not to cover facts up.
I would have to say, in the defence of many media companies, it is a standard part of leaving that you do sign a non-disclosure agreement. So there might not be anything sinister. I'm not standing up for anyone here, but it does happen.
Maybe it's time for a change. Maybe a change in the way things are done.
So when I left my newspaper, I signed one to not give trade company secrets away. So they're not that unusual. I don't think there's anything really untoward going on in this one.